Shocking Middle Ages. How was the wedding night of the kings? The Middle Ages represented a challenging period in history, characterized by the emergence of strategic marriages and the formation of most families devoid of love, particularly within the realm of royalty. These unions prioritized political or territorial considerations over the genuine sentiments of the bride and groom. Moreover, the wedding night was not a private, intimate affair, but rather a ceremonious and ritualistic event that today might be best described as a formal spectacle. In this article, we delve into the distinct characteristics of medieval royal weddings and their wedding nights. Preparation. The princesses were prepared for an important event by ladies-in-waiting and other court ladies. But shortly before the wedding, the future queen could be initiated into the details of married life by her mother or older sister. For example, Empress Maria Theresa of the Habsburg dynasty herself gave appropriate instructions to her daughters. In the Middle Ages, the bride was often taken to the groom's family as a child, and in this case, it was expected that the receiving party would enlighten her about the wedding night. With the help of astrologers and soothsayers, they tried to calculate the best time for marriage, especially if an heir was urgently needed. Archduke Sigismund of Austria relied on the court astrologer in this sensitive matter and was left without legitimate children. The hapless assistant could not determine the day suitable for conception. Food and hygiene. Sometimes special dishes were prepared for the wedding, designed to promote the early birth of children. For example, when Elizabeth of York married King Henry VII of England, a whole menu was developed for them for this purpose. It is not known whether the culinary delights worked, but the couple quickly had heirs. It was believed that the bride should not eat and drink a lot at the wedding table. This rule did not apply to men, which led to unpredictable consequences. Prince George of Wales celebrated his wedding so violently that he safely slept through the wedding night on the hearthrug. However, even when he met the bride, he began by immediately asking for a glass of brandy. Ideas about hygiene differed in different countries, which is why there were embarrassments at the conclusion of marriages. For example, Marie de Medici, who became the wife of King Henry IV of France, was disappointed that he did not even bother to wash before the wedding. In Maria's homeland, Florence, noble ladies were carefully prepared for their wedding night. They not only took baths, but also rubbed aromatic oils into their skin. The laying ceremony. In the Middle Ages, the church recognized marriage as valid only after the wedding night actually took place. Sometimes it was replaced by a symbolic reclining ceremony, despite the name quite modest. Courtiers gathered at the wedding bed, and the bride and groom in their clothes lay down next to each other on the bedspread. After a couple of minutes, they got up and from that moment were considered legitimate spouses after all. They were seen together on the same bed, but even a full-fledged consummation did not take place without witnesses. Because if the husband and wife did not become physically close, the marriage could be annulled. Therefore, in the bedroom, the young were accompanied by experienced relatives, from whom the newlyweds were separated only by a thin canopy. They could even unobtrusively help the bride and groom, for example, offer a little wine for courage. In England and Scotland, to confirm that the royal marriage took place, the archbishop, the king's mother, and other important persons could be invited to the marital bed, up to 20 people in total. After the wedding feast, the young people were solemnly freed from rich outfits first. The court ladies arrested the bride and put her to bed, and after that the groom appeared in the room in a nightgown and in the company of tipsy friends. Until the 17th century, after the wedding night, a sheet with traces of blood was hung out for everyone to see, evidence of the bride's innocence. In pre-Petrine Russia, young people were deliberately left alone in a cold and damp room, so that they would more willingly throw themselves into each other's arms. Additionally, the neighing of horses tied under the windows was supposed to inspire them to intimate exploits. The most intimate things happened without witnesses, but after a while they called the near lady to inspect the same sheet that confirmed the purity of the queen.